Hey everyone, I'm Arlen Bento Jr. Welcome to the Shoot Par Now Golf Show with my main man, James Stammer.
Hey everybody.
Welcome to another edition of our show. Hope you're all doing well. Before we get started, want to thank our sponsor today. This is Sailfish Turf. I hope it shows up good on the camera, but it's a local company. They install putting greens and they do a really nice job. We have a special tour putting mat that we sell. Normally like $6.49, it's $4.99. You can pick it up. If you're interested, leave a comment and I'll send you the information, okay? But thank you, Sailfish Turf.
Could you literally do your whole yard if you want?
You could do your whole yard, absolutely. And I think it would look great. I have some turf that we put in, and we created like just off of our French door patio area, and it was just grass, and it always got beat up because people would walk on it.
Yeah.
But it turned out beautiful. So turf in your yard can be a wonderful thing. It's always nice and plush, and it's beautiful.
It's always green.
Yeah. My yard's pretty good, but
you don't have to mow it. That's the other thing. You'd save a lot of money.
You would save a lot of money.
It would pay for itself in about 5 years.
You probably would. Speaking of mowing, we want to talk a little bit about the John Deere Classic. Also know,
they make mowers.
They do.
They make tractors.
They make a lot of things. And they're also big into golf. So the John Deere Classic was this weekend on the PGA Tour. It was in Illinois, and it was a TPC Deere
Run.
Deere Run,
spelled with an E on the end, just like John Deere.
Right, and there were some amazing shots. There was a little bit of moisture, right? It was it looked like on and off rain, and whenever courses take moisture and they get a little wet, players go bananas because they can hit the exact number, to the green.
And they know it's not going to bounce funny. It's not going to roll a long way out of the way.
And it ended up in a playoff. It was a good event. A lot of birdies on the backside, and Brian Campbell.
Yeah.
Ended up winning in a playoff.
Yeah, and he won earlier this year in a playoff in Mexico.
So, it seems like to me, like we've been talking about all the events, but there's a lot of dual winners this year. Mm-hmm. Quite a bit. So it's interesting that these guys are being able to, carve out really, really nice careers this year. And, I enjoyed watching a lot of the highlights on it,
There were some great golf shots.
There was.
And like we said, when we were watching some of it, you had guys middle late back nine. You had 8 guys you had 4 guys tied for the lead and another 4 guys with a shot. And that's crazy when you get that many guys.
It was a birdie fest on the back, man, because it was kind of like everybody was sort of bunched up early, like 12 under, 13, 14. And then you just kind of blinked and everybody got to 18.
Yeah.
and Campbell had 3 birdies on the first 4 holes starting from 10. And then hit that great shot into the par 5 and missed.
3-wood, yeah.
Yeah, and missed the eagle. He missed the eagle, but it was really close. And then in a playoff, he hit a good shot. The other guy,
Emiliano Grillo did not, yeah.
Yeah, but Grillo was right there. Max Homa was right there. Kuchar was on the board out of nowhere. Yeah. Where does that come from? But
Lipsky, all he had to do was make par 18.
And he would have been
in that playoff
but he missed his putt.
He missed the putt, and that's brutal when he eagled 17 to get tied for the lead.
Yeah, catch the leaders at 17 with an eagle.
Yeah,
and then get in trouble.
Give one of it back.
Right, but that's kind of how cool. Yeah, it is. You know what? Just watching the golf course, it's got a lot of interesting holes. Like some golf courses, they kind of. There's always nice holes and good holes, but man, these are like dramatically different looking holes. On TV, it kind of looked like the greens had. You ever watch good golf and the greens look like they're splotchy, brownish, but it's not like that in person. It's not. You can't even see it. But on TV, I think it kind of accentuates.
The HD really picks it up.
Yeah. But it was still a good event. I thought players played well, and obviously they're professionals for a reason. But I always try to I always like to talk about on our show because there's so much I taught a bunch of lessons today. And I've got some players now that are starting to get better. They're starting to break 90, and I have to share with them knowledge because they think they're going to find it every day. It's going to be there, and it's not. And I have a thing I tell my students. I say golf. It's like every morning when you wake up, you have to go relearn how to swing again. you don't have to relearn like how to play the game or, what you do, but you got to go find contact, and you got to find the ability to hit a draw, and you got to find the ability to be in balance and find your rhythm. And, so if you want to be good at golf, you do have to practice, and you do have to spend some time working on really good fundamentals. And fundamentals change over time. I had somebody on Instagram, I have a picture of some of the kids I coach, and his grip was a little faulty. He had his thumb on the wrong side, and man, they just tore him up. And I'm like, this kid is just learning how to make contact. Like he's 14, and he's doing a drill that I call over under, because he keeps firing over the top. And there's like, that's crazy. And they're like and I kind of go on there. I'm like, now I remember why I don't go. You're supposed to make comments, right? Like respond to people.
Yeah.
But I don't respond to knuckleheads.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that. It's like they don't even know what they're talking
All the
about.
internet bullies.
They're not even bullies. They're just a bunch of players that think they know, and they're making their comment. And they're not wrong with some of the stuff they're saying. They take it out of context. And I always say, like, do you teach golf? No. Have you worked with anyone that's never hit a golf ball and taught them how to swing? No. It's not easy. People don't realize how hard it is to pick up golf. And I do this for a living, and I'm good at it, but it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah. Works for one guy might not work for somebody else.
The data shows, right? I've got the simulator, I've got the video, I've got everything, and I show path and where the club should be, and we can get people doing pretty good. But they still got to practice and play. And then if you don't, you don't do it for a while, it gets a little rusty. You got to come back to it. But anyway, the shop had a rough week last week.
We missed our show last week.
We did. It's the first show we didn't do, and it's kind of technical difficulties. My air conditioner went down.
Yeah, that would have been real technical.
Yeah, were you out of town that week though? It was this week.
It was this past weekend I was out of town. Yeah.
But anyway, AC went down, and by the time everything got organized, and it was 4th of July, and couldn't get. It's like a rush, and put a new system in. It's working great, and then it wouldn't cool. So we had a rough week. But anyway, hope you missed us.
Yeah, really.
I didn't see the outpour, so I don't know.
Nobody called me looking for me. Hey, where are you, man? I miss you.
But we're back in the group, and it's hot here right now. Well,
last night when I let the dog out,
it was like 84 degrees.
I went, it feels brutal out here. So I asked
the phone,
Alexa. I said, hey, what's the temperature and humidity right now? This was like 9:30 at night.
Yeah.
It was 82 degrees and 88% humidity.
Yeah, it's pretty warm. That's what our summers feel like. We don't. So the next July, August, September, right? We won't see the temp at night go below 80 unless it's rainy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it'll be like that all summer. And then, right around September sometimes, then at night it'll go like 76. It'll start to drop. And then, we get into our beautiful weather. But it's still awesome. I had a great camp. Got a great camp. I don't know why. The last 2 mornings, I really enjoyed it. Like it's warm, but, we start at 9. We take our breaks. It's a nice routine. But I enjoy the camps. Like, I wouldn't want to be out there at 2 o'clock for, 4 hours teaching. The
sun's right straight over your head.
We come right inside, but it's still going well. I met a kid at the Saints where I coach, Xavier Perez. Okay. You ever heard of him?
I have not. But I'm going to.
You need to, because this kid's amazing. So I'm doing camp, and I don't even know. All I see is a lady on the putting green taking pictures of our covered range. And I thought it was kind of odd, right? Like I was thinking, okay. And then when I finished camp, they're sitting in our patio area, and he's got, his bag, his bag's loaded. It's a really nice bag. And so I just walked over and said, hey, I'm Coach Bento. I'm the instructor here. And I just saw you guys. Were you new to the area? I saw you taking pictures. Yeah. And, I just kind of opened up. And this kid jumped up, and he was like, nice to meet you. I'm so-and-so, and blah, 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 blah. And he was so personable, and I was like, whoa. And then we started chatting, where are you from? And anyway, this kid's famous. He's a top golfer. He's already had NIL deals from big companies. He's been on every big talk show you can think of. He's played golf with DJ Khaled and celebrities, and he goes everywhere. And he's like they said he's been with Mike Tirico a lot. Like he talks like a pro.
Okay.
So it's got this big personality, and then his swing is amazing. So they just moved down here from Georgia to play more full-time golf. And, he said the Georgia, he's won 300 tournaments or something since he's been playing since he's 3.
You play every day.
Oh yeah. This is a real deal, right?
Wow,
and yeah, he's very good. So anyway, but he's at my club, and I'm like, that doesn't show up at your course very often, right?
No.
Like, think about it. And I have another boy that I help coach, Brian Kelly, who when at 10 years old, he was the number 1 ranked kid in the country and 3 in the world. And he's still a really good player. But he's doing a lot of his own stuff. But now there's 2 kids now at the Saints, which are like world beater kids, which I think is pretty cool. But anyway, I follow him on Instagram. Check it out. It's Xavier Perez, but he goes like it's like EXVE or XEVE Perez Golf. So I'll put a link. If you go to my Instagram, I follow him, but I'll find his thing and I'll put in the link for this one. But what a cool kid. So I offered, help him. I'm good with marketing, so I was trying to give him some pointers. And the mom was really nice. She was from the Philippines, and the dad was from Puerto Rico. So he's got this really cool blended culture and
opposite sides of the planet.
Yeah, but then when I told him I was from Hawaii, they kind of looked at me and kind of went like, "Oh, we see it. Like, you can see the little Polynesian that I have in me." But anyway, it was a great conversation. But I thought that was kind of cool to have that kind of kid, come out of nowhere and be at your course. So I'm looking forward to. Hopefully, he takes me up on some of my. I just offered. He's got a coach now. He's working with. He's working mostly on short game. He said, but it'd be fun to kind of like get to know him and help him a little bit if he needs some help. So I'm excited to see that. But anything else with you going on besides your horrendous moving story?
No.
So does anybody like moving? Anyone? No.
And do you know the difference between moving. And packing and moving? If you ask someone to help you move, please be packed and ready to have it moved.
Daughter.
My youngest daughter.
Oh boy.
God bless her. I'll tell you. But yeah.
Gets a little frustrating.
We have to move. We're moving over the 4th of July weekend. Dad, will you help us move? Sure. Why not? Yeah, I love my kids. Yeah.
Nothing's packed.
Yeah,
4 boxes.
Four boxes were packed out of the entire apartment.
Oh, poor thing. So she really needed to help you pack her and move her, and probably wanted you to stay and unpack her and set her up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She thinks she's still in college.
Yeah. And the dog and the cat.
She's not in college, right?
She's graduated. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's her first. That's why. Because normally you would have done it for her because your dorm room's easy.
Oh yeah.
Like 6 boxes and next dorm.
Yeah. But
not a house.
She's in a 1-bedroom apartment and
got a boyfriend.
You got a boyfriend and yeah.
Well,
got a lot of stuff.
Sorry, that was a little rough.
Hey, that's okay. Yeah. I didn't break anything.
Yeah.
I didn't overdo myself.
Right.
I didn't get run over by anything going because they were on the 2nd floor. Fortunately, they moved to the 1st floor in the same apartment complex, but
you didn't have to go up and down. Oh, that's the worst.
I didn't have to go up and down stairs.
And it's Orlando.
Heavy stuff.
And it was hot too.
Yeah.
So you got it done.
But we got it done.
So I was in here. I had a great 4th of July. It was like the first time in a long time I didn't coach for like 3 days, and I had a really good 4th of July with the family. We put the AC unit in here on Saturday, and I helped. And we were here with my son-in-law, who was great, but it was like 90 in here.
I bet.
And we had to run all those cables, and all the copper. We had to run copper like 50 feet, and he does HVAC work, so
you don't have a window, so you can't get a cross breeze either.
No, it was hot. It was so we were running that little small AC trying to get it to go, and it was like, it was terrible. But anyway,
it was probably cooler than you were because I was at least out in the breeze.
Yeah, I had nothing. It was brutal. But anyway, we got it all organized and stuff. So, and then I wanted to tell people who are watching that what we're going to do tonight, and we're going to try to do this as part of the show. I'm going to film a segment where we're going to give a golf tip. Okay, we're going to add something to the show. Jimmy and I are going to go in the simulator, and we're going to just, woohoo, you're going to be part of it, right?
All right.
We'll talk, and we'll talk, probably we'll work on something simple, but if you like the lesson part, just leave a comment and, tell us maybe what you have struggles with your game, or
we can address those. Yeah,
we could. Yeah. So it'll help us. I put up a lot of content. There's a lot of stuff online you can follow, and we have memberships online. We have online learning. We have a lot of stuff, but I thought we'd just add that to the show every week. I think it would be a nice little segment at the end, you know. So if you start to like that part, just, you know, please like and subscribe. I'll probably just stick it at the end of the video, and we'll just call it, you know, we'll come up with a name for it, tips or corner or whatever. We'll have fun with it. But hopefully it helps you. Now remember, this is
the shoot par now.
Yeah. So again, I want to, every week I try to explain this because a lot of people get confused because par is hard, right? Like, so
Especially if you're playing in the U.S. Open.
Or whatever it is. But so shoot par now is a system to follow that gets you to lower your score, right? And the goals are based on playing 9 holes from tee boxes that are much closer. So we learn to shoot 36 at 100 and 150 and 200. We even start closer with our little guys. And Brandon, we just 25 yards, chip it on and 3-putt, and we play 9. And we want everybody to make 4s. So that's where the name came from, shoot par now. And we, as you move back, we develop the system and the scoring and all the stuff. So it's worked really well. Everybody's like, that's ridiculous. I'm telling you, if you putt good, chip good, hit stuff from 100 on, get good at 150, can get the ball up and in from 200, you're going to be a good player. You know, people just don't work at it like that, you know? So that's where shoot par now came from. But
I've got a buddy that insists that you got to play the very back tees. He can't break 100 from that.
Yeah, that's mental.
Why don't you play a little further?
That's the guys on my Instagram that are all talking like they're gonna. That, you know, they all talk like, you know, they know everything, and they don't have a handicap. They've never played in a tournament. They've never played anything in a scratch way. Like, you know, they've never played a tournament with other players that are shooting without handicap. Like, you know, so I mean, I respect everybody's comments on sometimes, but sometimes, oh my God, it's like if I had hair, I'd pull it out. But I don't. So it's like blank, blank, blank. I got nothing to pull. I don't know what to do. But sometimes, like, come on, man. What are you talking about? Like, come on. Send me your swing. Let me see it. Oh, crickets. Nobody wants. They like to talk about everybody else's mistakes, but let me see your swing.
Don't critique me.
I know. They make fun of the old coach's swing. I'm like, hey, I'm old and I'm still hitting it, you know, the way I hit it. Come on, man. Give me a little slack over here, right? Anyway, that's going to be our episode this week. Check out the little tip at the end of this show. Yeah. We hope you enjoy it. And you got anything else to add from everything good? Column's been writing good?
Everything's good, yeah. Still writing for Hometown News.
Yeah, everything. You wrote some articles you said about CopperTech a little bit.
Yeah, did a couple of, you know, product reviews that I've had since back in January when I went to the merchandise show. So I've had enough rounds now that I can, this is working pretty good. That's
And we can find that online too, right? That article.
Yes.
Yeah. We should probably cross-post it.
Yeah. If you search for Hometown News Golf. Yeah.
So it's got
homtownnewsonline.com.
So I can probably find a link and put it on there.
Yeah.
All right, we'll look for that. We'll help CopperTech out and get you some eyes on your stuff and help the Hometown News. All right. Thanks for watching. You guys stay well.
Not everybody.
Hey everyone, it's Coach Arlen Bento again. Thank you for checking out the Shoot Par Now Golf Show. Here's our new segment we're going to add. We're going to give you tips to help you with your golf game. This is James Stammer, my co-host. You guys know who he is, right? Now here's what we're going to work on today. We're going to talk a little bit about the golf grip.
Grip, very good.
And as you said, it's the only part of the body that's connected to the club.
Yeah.
So that's why grip is so important. Now, there are 3 grips, okay? And a lot of people get confused because they are only told about a lot. So let's put it this way. A lot of teachers now coach a stronger grip. Mm-hmm. And a lot of us weren't coached that because the way that a lot of us were brought up, our hands released more in the classic swing. So the grips were a little more neutral in my opinion. So what we're talking about is in your hands where your thumb sits, right? So for most people, they're playing golf where this hand is rotated so they can see a couple knuckles, right? Yeah. So like when we talk about the CopperTech glove, right? That helps show you where knuckles go.
Teaching glove, it's got the
if you struggle with the ball staying, the club face staying open, so if you're a right-hand player and the ball's always going that way, you do want to have a stronger grip, okay? If you struggle with the ball curving to the left, you don't want a stronger grip. You want to take that grip, right? And you want to kind of move it more right on top or even a little over, okay? So that would be considered weak. And weak means when you look down, you would see almost no knuckles. Mm-hmm. Strong, you would see at least 2, even 3 sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of players, that are struggling with their games, they just don't have their grip in the right place. Now, when you play, show me your grip. So we got a little trainer on James here, right? So he's going to show me his grip. I'm just going to look at it. So obviously the trainer, does that feel different than your normal grip?
Not really. I mean, I tend to have a weaker grip.
You play a little weaker grip? Yeah.
So it feels really weird to get my left hand rotated more.
So let's turn around this way so they can just see it. So you see how, so James does have a weak grip. So his line kind of points to his lead shoulder, where most people are going to have that line rotating to this shoulder, right?
It'll be more over this way.
Yeah, so that would be considered, so that I consider that a strong grip, but everybody calls that neutral now, you know, but so you play with a little more weak grip, right?
Yeah.
Now the other thing that people go bananas about is where this thumb is, right? So in theory, this is where the thumb should be in a good grip, but I've seen so much golf being played well with, as long as this thumb is not putting pressure on the swing, then that's not terrible to have it. Like some people will play like here and they'll be like, oh, it's a terrible grip. No, you'll see really good players with that, okay?
Especially if you're only gripping with,
yeah,
you know, these three fingers mostly, right?
And then sometimes players will actually have that thumb on this side, which is not something you would see with a better player, because that'll help people actually close, like rotate the club a little bit. So some people freak out. But in the end, and this is what I tell people all the time, everyone is so consumed with the right thing, but the only thing that's correct is when you make contact is the face square, and you know where the path of the club is going. If your path is messed up, you really can't teach where the face is. So if you don't have a consistent path on how you get to the ball, the grip's always going to be, you know, something that can work with many different ideas, right? But I will tell you one more thing with this little tip. So okay, the tip today was if you slice or go slice player, you want to strengthen your grip, okay?
Put that left hand
Rotate.
more on top.
Yep, and rotate.
So you can see more of
more
that,
knuckles.
more of your knuckles on that side.
Correct.
Okay.
And if you are a hook player where all the balls kind of hook, you want to weaken that.
Yeah.
You want to go the opposite way, right?
Yeah.
All right. So that's going to be your tip. I hope that helps you with your golf game. Leave a comment. Say something at the bottom. It'll really help us out, and we can give you something else to work on, okay?
And hit them straight.
Thanks for watching.